All right. It says I'm live. If you're here, welcome. I'm going to finish getting set up. Get kind of centered here. Say hi in the comments if you're here, though. I thought I had this at the right spot when I first tested this. All right. Okay, guys and gals and dogs, and cats, and any other pets that might have shown up today. We've got a few minutes before class starts. Gonna get my phone on silent. So if you just joined, go ahead and bring any props that you want. I will be using a blanket, which I'm sitting on one right now, and then 2 blocks. But again, if there's any other props that you want for class today, go ahead and bring them. All right. Okay. We're here. It's almost 8:30. Okay. All right. Well, we've got like 1 minute. Let's go ahead and kind of get started. I thought I would see more comments if they come in. So if you're commenting, I'm going to try and look over here or at my phone so I can say hi. It's the joy of teaching to a live class. Okay, so today we are just going to move through our whole body mostly, hips mostly, twists mostly. But let's talk first about what yin is before we get started. There's 4 special principles. The first principle is to find your edge. So, what that means is when you get into these postures, you want to go in at a very low number. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, I like to say 1 is we're just sitting here having a nice conversation. 10 is I need to go to the hospital. We never want to go to the 10. So, when you get into the posture, it's best just to go in really lightly, okay? Because rule number 2 is to hold the posture for time. And these poses are held anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes. So you don't want to go in at like 80% and then have to hold 80% for 5 minutes. You want to go in at like a 20 or 30. And then over time, your body and gravity will naturally deepen into its own relaxed state. So principle 1 is find your edge. Principle 2 is to hold for time. Principle 3 is to remain still. So once you find your edge and you get into that posture, you want to find the most comfortable space and posture for your body. So if that means using props or making any adjustments, you just want to find your own space. And then the last one is to move very slowly coming out of the postures. And the reason for that is we've been holding it for a long time. We want to just be mindful and come out of the posture fairly easily or slowly. So that is it. Welcome to class. Today's theme, though, is going to be on Viveka. So I've been going through the Yoga Sutras with you guys in classes, which you may or may have not known. But Sanskrit, Viveka, it means keen discernment or exercising clear judgment. So sometimes we get stuck and can't make decisions. And actually, the reason I'm talking about this today is because I've been stuck in some of my own decisions. And the practice of Viveka is to exercise clear judgment, taking into account everything that is around us and what is harmful versus what is beneficial to us, and making that decision and the correct decision to benefit us in whatever our goal is, whether it be long-term or even short-term. So I wanted to read this little excerpt. Oh, here we go. So this is just a good example from this book. If you're interviewing people for positions at your company, it is up to you to determine the most important characteristics you are looking for, far beyond just the qualifications on paper. Someone who may not have much experience but learns quickly and is thorough might fare better than one who has much experience and they are set in their ways and cannot adapt easily. So the example of Viveka here is looking at what you're looking for in your new hire. So if you're looking for someone long-term, it may be more beneficial for you to go ahead and pick the person that has the less experience, that is more adaptable and flexible. So again, it's always about making the best decision for you. So as we move through our practice today, if you want an intention or an affirmation, you can tell yourself, if it resonates, I have the innate ability to make all well-informed decisions for the benefit of all beings. Let's try that again. I have the innate ability to make well-informed decisions for the benefit of all beings. So if that resonates with you today, feel free to make your own version of it, shorten it, lengthen it. Could be the exact same. But just exercise your clear judgment today. So the thing about Yin is you have to sit with your thoughts. You have to push away all the external forces that are coming down on you. And that's the hard part about Yin, is to sit and be quiet with your thoughts. But when you can do that, you can start to hear your thoughts loud and clear when you get rid of all the excess. So let's begin today. We are going to start here in a cross-legged position, sitting up nice and tall. Think about aligning your head over your shoulders over your hips. And then the spine just feels tall, lifting up. Place one hand over your heart, your choice, your favorite heart, your favorite hand. And let's just close our eyes if you feel comfortable. Otherwise, allow your gaze to softly look down, finding a drishti point, focal point, something just to concentrate on. And let's breathe. A few rounds of breath, no guidance, just your natural breath. This is your check-in time. The next time on your inhale, I want you to imagine your breath expanding across your collarbones and into your heart. So think about letting your heart lift up into your hands. You might even feel the front part of your body lift up towards the sky. And on the exhale, keep the lift, but let the belly soften. So let's try that same breath one more time. Let's breathe into our heart space. Breathe into your hand. So this is your check-in. This is your heart breath. If you feel comfortable with this breathing, we're going to breathe in as deep as you can. So whatever that means to you. And then you're going to pause at the top of that breath and just hold it for 3 counts. At the end of your 3rd count, let it go. So if you want to breathe with me, let's go together. If you're on your own, you know your body best. Nice inhale. Let everything in the body expand. Lift the heart to the hand. And pause and hold that breath in. On the exhale, release your breath any way that feels good to you. Let's try that 2 more times. Breathe in, let the body fill up with the magic of your breath. Pause and let it go. This is our last time. I'll let you walk through it on your own. Holding at the top for 3 and letting it go. Let the hand come down to the knee, the thigh, the floor. And come back to your natural breath. Let your body be still. On the exhale, you can flutter the eyes open. And welcome to your practice. Let's take our first shape, butterfly shape, by pulling the feet out in front of us and letting the soles of the feet come together. So you can stay propped up on your blanket. If you want to remove the blanket, if you need more space underneath your hips, add blocks. You can even use your blocks underneath your knees or thighs. So you decide how far or wide you'd like your diamond shape to be. Whatever feels comfortable, maybe rock side to side. Just explore the spaces in your body. And remembering in Yin, everything is very soft. We're relaxing our fascia to help gain mobility and flexibility in our bodies. So let's just let our hand drop into the center of our diamond and then lean forward just slightly so that your heart is now reaching over your hips. On the exhale, drop the chin to the chest. Let the spine round. This is Yin, not regular yoga, not a flat back. So chin is to chest, spine is round. And then this is kind of the time and space to explore where you'd like to have your head or your hands. If you've got extra blocks and you don't like this feeling of hanging here and letting gravity hold you, you can grab a block and place it underneath you, underneath your forehead. You can even rest your elbows on the block and your head in your hands. This is your chance to get comfortable in the way that works best for you. But as we start to settle in here, remembering that word, viveka, or exercising clear judgment. Maybe you can apply that right here, right now, making the best decision for your body and your shape for this next 2 minutes now. In Yin, increasing time is what increases the intensity of the posture. So it's really not about what your shape looks like. It's about how it feels. Really allow the shoulders and the upper body to feel weighted, to feel heavy. And then come back to your breath. Just notice. We're approaching our final minute here. If you need to make any adjustments, go ahead. If you know you're in your sweet spot, stay in your zone. Let's use our inhale to help slowly push ourselves up. So maybe you drag your hands and place them on the floor, or your block, or your legs, your feet. And then on the inhale, use your arms to slowly lift your body up. Maybe you walk your hands closer into your hips, allowing the torso to come up, the spine to lengthen, the neck to grow long. If you had any props, let's just move them off to the side. Oh, good morning, Anna. All right. Let's take a little recovery posture after that butterfly. So your outer hips might be feeling a little stiff. So the recovery postures are any posture that feels good in your body. Windshield wiper legs tend to feel pretty good here because we draw the knees in and out. So if you want to lean back on your hands, plant the feet to the floor. Knees are pointed up towards the sky, and we're just going to drop the knees to the left and the right. So you can go whichever direction you'd like. There's no right or wrong. Your knees don't have to touch the earth. You just want to feel a little bit of relaxation or release in those outer, maybe even the inner hips. Let's take a few more of these, and we'll come back up. Excellent. All right, so if you wiggled around on your blanket, go ahead and move it back to where it needs to be. And we're going to come into dragonfly or straddle. So take the feet straight out in front of you, and depending on how your mat is set up, it doesn't matter which way your mat goes, but some people like to have their legs going lengthwise with their mat, so it's up to you. Let's go ahead and take the legs out just to whatever's comfortable for you. Move some of my stuff here. All right. So you may want to move your hips to the edge of your blanket and just kind of rock your hips front and back. Find what works best in your low back. We're looking mostly for a neutral spine. And then let's point and flex the toes a few times. Just bring some awareness from our brain all the way up here down to our feet. Maybe take left and right point and flexes. This always makes me feel like a dancer. Like a ballet dancer. I was never a ballet dancer. All right, so now that we're talking feet to head and head to feet, let's make sure we have a nice bend in our knees, and then let's relax our legs. So we're not flexing, we're not pointing. Your feet are just doing what's natural for you. The only thing I really want you to be concerned about is your knees and your toes are pointed the same direction. So just make sure they're rolled out or rolled in, depending on how your legs are. Okay, so same thing applies here. I'm going to have you grab a block or two and put them in front of you because this is a really nice prop to have to bring the floor up. So same thing. Let's take our hands to our heart and let's breathe into that heart space again. In through the nose. Lift the sternum, lift the chest, lift the heart, fill the exhale. Let's just lean forward slightly and then drop the hands. And let's check in. We should be feeling a stretch on the inner thighs. You may feel it on the backs of your knees, and some people might feel it on the outer thighs. So this is where I want you to listen and decide how far you need to go. And remembering in Yin, we're not keeping a flat back. We're going to round down. Okay, that keeps our low back safe. So hand can still be on the heart if you'd like. Otherwise, you're leaning forward and rounding forward. You can come down to whatever level suits you best. So let's take our time here. You are more than welcome to put blocks or blankets under your knees. My favorite version, I'm not going to take it today, but I'll demo it for you guys, is actually to have the knees bent so much that your feet are flat on the floor. You might have to narrow your stance, and then you just roll forward. This is actually my favorite version of this. I just did it yesterday, so today I'm going to take this version. So that's an option for you guys today. But we've got one more minute here already. And then we're going to come back up and we're going to do it on the left and the right side of our bodies today. So let's just breathe, find this new space, this new change. Maybe we find some clarity as we explore with our breath. On our inhale, let's slowly press ourselves up. Whatever way works best for you, coming back up to that long spine. So I'm going to let you pick. We're going to do left and right side. So you can pick your favorite side. I'm going to go and do this side first. So what we're going to do is you're going to twist your torso and your shoulders towards the foot that you're going to lean towards. So I'm going to my left. It's probably the right on your screen. So I'm going to square my shoulders to the foot that I'm turning to. You can even take your blocks with you. I don't need them though. So here they are. Hands can come down to the thigh. Leg is relaxed. Roll the shoulders forward. Maybe hands come to the heart. So think about taking your forehead closer to your thigh or your knee instead of reaching your forehead towards your foot. Okay, so there's a big difference in what your spine is doing here. Knee to forehead, the spine is round. Foot is soft. And we've got a minute here. So you may be here, you may have blocks. You should still be feeling a stretch on the inner thigh. You're going to feel a stretch back here on the lower right side of your back. You may feel it in the left outer hip. Let's take about 3 more rounds of breath here. Think of filling the belly, the heart space, the chest, the rib cage up, and then exhaling it out. On your next inhale, slowly press yourself up 1 vertebrae at a time. Twist your torso back to center. And we're going to take it right into the other side. So square your shoulders off. Excuse me, guys. Got a little frog in my throat right now. Square your shoulders off to the opposite foot now. Remember, leg is soft. You can have any props underneath your knee. Hands can come to the heart. Lean forward. And then maybe the hands drop as you reach forehead towards knee. So let's just remember here in these asymmetrical poses, they're not going to be the same. We are not symmetrical beings. I think we try to be. There's nothing wrong with that, but we are asymmetrical beings. So if the side feels completely different to you, that's 100,000% normal. So make the best decision for you on this side of your body. We're going to take about 4 more rounds of breath here, big full rounds of breath. And just notice with these rounds if your breathing has changed in this side, this shape. Just notice. Last round here. Full belly breath in. Soft, long belly breath out. And then press yourself up any way that feels best for you. Allow your torso to twist back to the center. Let's pull our legs in, knees in, feet come to the floor. And let's just lean forward and give ourselves a hug. Forehead can come to the knees, let the spine round. Good. On your inhale, slowly come up. And we're going to make our way into child's pose. So you can come to all fours first. Use your blanket if you have sensitive knees. If you have any knee injuries, you may need cushion underneath the knees or behind them, like so. Big toes come together, and I'm going to give you 2 options. The knees can go wide or they can stay together. It's totally up to you, whatever feels best on your body. If you're taking the wide leg position, allow the hands to crawl forward. If you are taking the knees together position, same thing, hands can crawl forward or they can reach back behind you. Slowly lower the head to the floor. You can even use stacked hands or fists to bring the forehead down. Just take a minute here to find your best child's pose. The best child's pose is the one that works for you, the one that you can sit in comfortably. Shouldn't be any pain in yoga. In yin, though, you do have to sit in slight discomfort. So again, it's about finding your edge and use your best judgment to find your edge. Really be honest with yourself. If that doesn't work for you, change it. You are your best teacher. I know I say that all the time, but I really, really mean it, you guys. I really do. So here we are in another new position. Fill your belly up with air. Just notice what changes have taken place. You don't have to give them a name. Just be aware. And keep focusing on the breath. So if you were in a regular child's pose, I want you to slide yourself into the wide leg child's pose. So big toes are together. The knees come far apart. Hands are reaching towards the top of your mat or out in front of you. And we're going to take a stretch. Let's crawl the hands to the right side of our mat. Forehead stays down. Maybe you can press the left shoulder down. And I don't want you to worry about your hips. Just let them do what comes natural. Don't force one side down. Don't force one side up. Just be. Just be. Soft breaths. We're going to transition to the other side, stopping in the middle. So slowly lift the head, just enough that maybe you can peek up and look at your hands, and then walk your hands to the center of your mat. Pause, breathe in, and exhale. Let's walk our hands to the opposite side. Let's take them to the left side of the mat. Move any props out of the way if you need to. And again, check in here. Check in with the shoulders. Check in with the breath. Just check in with your hips. No pushing, no pinning, no forcing. Just being. On your inhale, slowly lift the head slightly up. Nice exhale, walk the hands back to the center of the mat. On our inhale, let's rise up into our tabletop shape, pulling the knees underneath the hips. Maybe removing any of your props that you had. And we're going to find a down dog here. So fingertips can be spread nice and wide, pointing towards the top of your mat. Hands are about shoulder distance width apart. Let's curl the toes under, and let's take some little rocks here first. So just shift the hips back towards the heels and then come forward. Maybe let the shoulders drift towards the fingertips so you feel a stretch in the wrists. So just take it forward and back at your own pace here. Bringing a little yang to our yin. And when you feel ready, we'll rock into a downward facing dog. So when you're ready, slowly lift the hips up, taking the knees off of the ground. You can keep the knees as bent as you'd like. Your gaze looks through your thighs. And then you can bend into one knee and then the other to start pedaling them out. So just take what you need here. Play with the foot stance if you need to. If you're already over down dog, you can always come down to tabletop, make those same movements, make different movements, whatever you want to do here. Let's take a yogi recess. We're midway through the class. It's a good time to check in. All right. So from your tabletop shape, we're going to move into shoelace. I am going to give you two options. Option one is to come into it from tabletop. You're going to draw your right knee towards the front of your mat and cross your leg. So cross the right leg on top of the left. Uncurl the toes. Let the feet come out wide to the sides of your yoga mat, and then start to walk your hands closer to your knees or your body, letting your butt sink to the floor. So this is going to be super awkward if you've never done it before. It's going to be super awkward if you have tight hips. You can always sit on a blanket like so. If your legs or your knees are not stacking on top of each other, that's okay. So this is option 1. You can stay right here, you can stay sitting up, or you can lean over. Option 2, though, would be to do this laying down on your back. So if you're uncrossed, you come down to your back, you cross your right thigh on top of your left, pull your knees in, and then you can grab onto your knees, your shins, or your feet. So since I'm here on my back, I'm going to stay here with you. Let's check in with our time here. Let's see where we're at. Oh, we're doing great. So if you're not feeling anything in this right hip, you can pull your top knee, that right knee, towards your left shoulder. Okay? And that's only if you're not feeling anything. But wherever you're at, let's tap right back into that breath. Tap right back into your informed decision-making skills. Your keen discernment. Looking at the whole picture. Weighing out pros and cons. And thinking about how your decision affects you and how it affects others. Yoga is for the greater good. All right, everybody, stay where you're at. So we're going to switch sides, but if you are in the upright cow legs, go ahead and just extend both legs out in front of you. Shake out the legs and then find a down dog or a tabletop. If you are on your back, though, go ahead and uncross your legs, let the feet plant to the floor, and let the knees point up to the sky. So you're just pausing here. If you're taking the laying down version, go ahead and cross left leg on top of the right, pull the knees into the chest, and then give your legs a hug, pulling them in. If you took the other option and you're out here shaking your legs and or doing down dog, tabletop, remember, wherever you're at, you'll pull the left knee towards the top of your mat and then cross that that left leg on top of your right leg. Okay. Let the feet reach out to the sides of your mat. Slowly walk your hands closer to your knees or your hips, and then let the hips sink down. Feel free to sit on a blankie. So wherever you're at, take your version, start to settle in. I'm coming back to the laying down version. So just give yourself a check-in here. We switch sides. Always seems to make our minds do a little dance in our head. So just remember, asymmetrical shapes are meant to feel different. Now is a good time for a body scan. And let's actually start with our limbs. So bring your attention just to your feet and your hands. Notice what's happening there. Are you holding tension in your feet, your toes, tops of your ankles? Then check in with your hands. Are they gripping your body? Can you find some peace or some softness in your grip? I know I just did. Bring your awareness back to your head. Just feel the back of your head press into your mat or the floor, wherever you're at. Maybe you're sitting up. Maybe you can reach the crown of your head a little higher. The shoulders can soften. Bring your attention to your heart. Feel your breath in your heart. On your next soft exhale, slowly make your way out of your shape, whatever shape that you are in. Just take your time. Maybe try and move 1 second slower than you would normally move. Just really, really taking your time. Maybe you move into your down dog. Maybe you just uncross your legs and lay down. Windshield wiper waves, waves or legs. Windshield wiper waves. That was new. I like that one. All right. So take what you need here. I don't know what your body feels like. So when I offer options, if none of the things I'm saying to you feel good, you take what feels good for you. Slowly pull the right knee into the chest, and you can interlace your fingers and place them on top of your shin or even take them back behind your thigh. Let the left leg extend along, maybe towards the top of your mat. Just breathe here for a moment, pulling that knee into the chest. Slowly bend into the left leg and let the left foot plant to the floor. We're coming into half happy baby. So I like to take the version where you just hang on to your legs, but you can grab pretty much wherever you want. So if you have your hands interlaced behind your knee, all you're going to do is pull your knee towards your armpit. You may have to go around your rib cage or your chest and then flex the foot. So pull the toes towards the knees and then reach the sole of the foot towards the sky. So you're still pulling your knee into your chest, the leg stays bent, but then the lower leg and the foot are reaching towards the sky. So again, you can grab anywhere that you want. Peace fingers on the big toe, left hand on the belly or the floor. I personally just like this though. Relax the lifted foot. And on the exhale, right foot plants to the floor and then extends long. Left knee pulls into the chest. Take your grip wherever it feels best for you, behind the knee, on top of the knee, or the shin. Pull that knee into the chest. And let's hold. Let the body be relaxed. Slowly bend into the right knee, planting that right foot to the floor, finding a little firmer of a foundation. And then we're going to take that happy half baby on the other side. So, depending on where you like your grip, pull your knee towards that left armpit. So, you're pulling the knee out just slightly. And then send that left foot towards the sky, keeping a bend in the knee. So, if you get here and you want to play with maybe where you want your hands, just kind of find out what works best for you here. And then we're going to breathe into it. Relax the lifted left leg. On the exhale, slowly release. Left foot comes to the earth, and we're going to take constructive rest for just a moment here. So knees stay bent, feet are on the floor, and hands can rest on the belly, the hips, or just even by your sides, whatever feels best for you. Take a deep breath in. Feel your entire torso fill up. And then let it all go. Come back to that breath. Each time you exhale and release, let your body feel heavier. Allow your leg bones to feel heavy in your hips. Slowly draw the knees into the chest. And we're going to come into our twist here. So look to the left and right of you. Make sure nothing's in the way so you can drop your knees. But go ahead and pull those knees up into the chest as comfortable, as high as it works for you. And then we're going to drop our knees to the left side first today. As soon as I get my mic out of my pocket. All right, left knees drop over to the left side. So if the floor feels really far away from you, grab your blanket or your blocks and just put them underneath your legs so you can bring the floor up to you. You also can take a block and put it in between your thighs if that feels good. Otherwise, let's take the arms out to a T, palms up. Both shoulders reach for the floor. And if it feels good, you can look right. Here we are checking in with our breath. As we start to settle into the tail end of our practice, maybe just reflect on anything you've learned on your mat today. When you breathe in, imagine that breath traveling down the right side of your spine, passing all the energy centers, infusing each chakra with a little bit of its magic. And as you breathe out, that breath travels back up the left side of the spine and out. And just feel the cycle, rinse and repeat. I'm giving us a little extra time in our twists today. So go ahead and make any more adjustments that you might need. Use your best judgment to make your adjustments, really asking where you need the help the most. And then listen, because you have the answers of how inside. Let's take 2 more soft breaths here. Allow the gaze to look towards the sky. Gently draw the knees up and in to the chest, and then roll the right hip back down onto the earth. Let the feet float to the floor. We're going to take a constructive rest before we go back to the other side. Feet plant to the floor. Maybe the hands come to your belly. And this time when we breathe, see if you can feel your breath in your low back, the part that's touching your mat. So when you breathe in, maybe you can feel that breath travel down and feel it rise back out. Prepare the mind for the twist. Just envision yourself drawing your knees into your chest and then taking them over to the right side. Envision yourself in your best version. Breathe in and breathe out. With your next breath, follow your vision into your twist. Knees come into the chest. Let them drop over to the right side, using any props that support your practice, that support your decision. The arms reach wide into a T. The palms are up. Maybe you look left. The shoulders are heavy, reaching for the floor. Let your first few rounds of breath be your welcome committee to this posture. Sometimes we move into these postures and we're like, yeah, this is good. And then a few rounds of breath goes by and you're like, actually, this isn't good. So let your breath help guide you to your best decision. And know that your decisions can change. I think that's something important I've not touched on. Making the best decision for what you need at the time is important. But with time, things change. People change. Priorities change. The only constant is change. So we have to come back to our breath and come back to those decision-making skills and let that cycle rinse and repeat. Just check in with yourself. Notice if there's any tension. Are you clenching any muscles? Or you just feel tight somewhere? Let's come out of our twist and segments. If you had the gaze turned, slowly turn the head so you're looking towards the stars above. Slowly pull the knees into the chest, maybe remove any props. Let your left hip roll back down onto the earth. And then let the feet float to the floor, keeping the knees bent, coming back into our constructive rest posture. We're moving into our final posture of the day, Savasana. Savasana really is the posture that allows you to be the stillest that you can be. So it's the posture that you feel most comfortable in. Sometimes laying down flat on your back is not Shavasana for you. That might not be for you today, maybe tomorrow. So I empower you today to find the shape, and don't even think it is a shape. Just find where and how you can be most comfortable to lay still. So maybe it's here in constructive rest with the knees bent, feet on the floor. Maybe it is with the legs straight out. The feet could be wide, arms could be wide. You can be sitting up. You can be on your belly. You can be on your side. You can sit in a chair. You can lay down in your bed. You can sit against a wall. Whatever posture you take today, just give yourself a pat on the back for making your best decision for that shape and for yourself. Let's all take a deep breath in and a long breath out. This is your Shavasana. No matter what shape you're in your best Savasana, just bring some awareness into your space. That could be with your breath. Maybe you wiggle fingers and toes, or rock the head side to side. Sway the hips, move the shoulders. When you feel like your body knows what's going on around you, go ahead and bring yourself to a comfortable seated position. So take your time getting there. Maybe you roll to fetal position today. You don't need to pause. We're just going to go right up into our seated, centering, our meditation posture. Again, whatever works best for you. Take your time. Let's align our head over our shoulders over our hips. Let's bring one or both hands to our heart. And let's breathe for just a moment together. As you breathe in, feel your chest, your sternum lift into your hands. And as you exhale, feel the heat, the warmth, your aliveness against your body, against your heart. Breathe into your hands. And allow your hands to love you back. You can keep your hands right here at your heart, or you can take your prayer hands, whatever feels best for you. And we'll seal our practice with the 3 intentional breaths. Take a breath for yourself. Take a breath for someone you love. And take a breath for someone who may be suffering. The world could always use more love in it. Thank you, yogis and yoginis, for allowing me to guide you through this practice today. As always, the light honors and respects the light in me honors and respects the light in you. Namaste. Good job today, yogis and yoginis. I was going to say something different instead of namaste, so that tripped me up. It's always so fun. But let's get on with our yoga fortune. All right, these are our Be Strong cards. And it says, never fear shadows. They simply mean there is light shining somewhere nearby. Ruth E. Renkel. That's really good. Never fear shadows. They simply mean there's a light shining somewhere nearby. Man, I really like that. I hope you guys like it too. I'll post a picture of it. But I hope you had a great class today here on YouTube. Trying to do something. So let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns, critiques, because this is my only second class on here. But let me know how your week's going if you want. Let me know what you want in the future. Say hi. Otherwise, have a really great week, and I will see you later. Mwah!